So Paul Ryan tweeted something the other day and then deleted it. And he deleted it because like 9,000 people dunked on him. And they're like, what the fuck? Even conservatives were like, dude, stop. What are you saying? What are you doing? You look ridiculous. So here's what he said. A secretary at a public high school in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, said she was pleasantly surprised her pay went up $1.50 a week. She said that will more than cover her Costco membership for the year. And he's responding to a story from the AP, which says workers are starting to notice larger paychecks following tax overhaul. Now, okay, first of all, let's give context to that. It's misleading when Republicans talk about that because, first of all, like, we covered the story in regards to AT&T. Union workers were fighting tooth and nail to get wage increases. They didn't get wage increases. They got a one-time bonus. For the record, that's why these companies are, most of them are not giving any kind of bonus whatsoever, any kind of wage increase. For literally the 2% that are, because that's all that are doing it, most of it is a one-time bonus and not a wage increase, because a wage increase means you have to keep doing it in perpetuity. So that means you have to keep paying them more. So they go, no, we'll give you like $1,000 bonus or something. Now sit down and shut up. But again, even that's misleading because it's not because of the tax bill. In the case of AT&T, you had unions fighting for a wage increase. Management said no. Then you got the unions to get a concession at AT&T where they said, whatever, we'll give you a one-time bonus. Then when AT&T gave the bonus out, they turned around and said, we only did this because of the giant tax break that gives our management a tremendous amount more money. What? So that's what's called propaganda. That's what that is. Like, oh, no, the reason why I am doing this is not because of the fight with the unions. It is because trickle-down economics works and I was given a lot of money. Which, again, is not true. Well over 90% of the benefits of this tax bill, it was used as stock buybacks. So, in other words, the management in the company, the owners of the company, just got richer. Literally, 83% of the benefits of this tax bill went to the top 1%. So now you can turn around and say, well, Kyle, okay, but still don't poo-poo the positive effects on workers. But here's the thing. I'm not doing that because I have an alternative. My alternative is you don't have to go through the middleman and do trickle-down economics and give the rich a tremendous amount of money and hope they give it to the working people. No, just raise the workers' wages. That's it. And you want to know how to raise the workers' wages? Very simple. Number one, pass a living wage. Make the minimum wage a living wage and tie it to inflation. So that's easy enough. Mandate that if you work full-time, you should make enough money to survive. That's step number one. Step number two, ban so-called right-to-work states because that's just an anti-union bill, which really means right to work for less because people in those states make, on average, I think it's $1,500 or $2,000 less per year, and their benefits are much shittier. So ban right-to-work laws. That's easy enough. Do card check to increase unionization numbers. This is how you fight for workers, by fucking fighting for workers. You want to help workers? Give workers a giant tax cut. They don't do that. 83% of the bill goes to the top 1%. And isn't it weird? All the tax cuts for the top 1% and for the corporations, permanent. So the tax cut for corporations went from 35% to 21%, at a time when corporations are already paying a historic low percentage of the tax burden. Went from 35% to 21%. Permanent. Tax cuts for the rich, a state tax cut, permanent. Weird, the only tax cuts in the bill that are not permanent are all the ones for people making $75,000 a year or less. Those expire at a certain point. Now, they turn around and say, well, that we're going to make them permanent. No, if you wanted to make them permanent, you could have made it permanent already. You have a majority everywhere. You have the presidency, you have the Senate, you have the House. Democrats are for the tax cuts on the middle class. You could have made it permanent if you wanted right now, but they didn't do it. Why didn't they do it? Because they're not fucking in favor of it. And now that brings us full circle to Paul Ryan's point. Somebody told me they made $1.50 more per week. Not all heroes wear capes. Yes, very, very good. $1.50 per week. Okay, here's the fact that blows this fact out of the water. $1.50 per week is what he's talking about. He's telling the working class to, hey, thank me for the fucking crumbs I gave you. You're still living in poverty. You still can't afford to pay the bills. But thank me. Thank me, because I did a tax bill that 83% of the benefits went to the top 1%. So, how much of an increase in pay goes to the Koch brothers every week? $29 million. The Koch brothers are worth over $100 billion. I think it's $105 billion. That's how much they're worth. They're worth over $100 billion. Over $100 billion. Over $100 billion. You know what you could live on? You could live for the rest of your life on like 10 million. Less than that, probably. They're worth over $100 billion. The tax bill gave them an extra $29 million a week. $29 million a week. But Paul Ryan wants you to thank him and call him a working class hero because he gave somebody who's living in poverty and is still living in poverty $1.50 a week. And by the way, that's not even permanent. That's not even permanent because the tax bill raises taxes on everybody making $75,000 a year or less over a 10-year period. Listen, I just need everybody to understand something. Neither political party is fighting for the working class. That's clear. Neither one. They're both giant corporatists. There's no doubt about that. Republicans on social issues happen to be obviously more fundamentalist and right-wing. But the reality is, they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes and act like the Republicans are the party of the working class with goofy shit like this, which is so easy to debunk and rip apart. And I remember I had an uncle who used to say this all the time. He used to say, well, you'll understand when you're making a paycheck. This was when I was younger. He would say, you'll understand when you're making a paycheck that the Republicans are good because then you'll understand that they want you to keep more of your own money. That's not even true. The one argument that they use to try to claim that they're for the working class is, oh, we want to cut your taxes, Democrats want to raise your taxes. But that's not even true. They're lying to you. 83% of the benefits of the tax bill went to the top 1%. Any of the cuts for the working class are temporary and they expire over the next 10 years. They raise taxes on everybody making $70,000 a year or less. Now, this is not like a new thing either that, oh, the Republicans really aren't for cutting taxes for regular people. They're only for cutting taxes for the rich. You go back and you look at all the tax proposals, and I guarantee you, it doesn't matter who it was, the example I always go to, because it's the first time I really recognize this, that they're lying to you, is John McCain versus Barack Obama in 2008. CNN Money did a breakdown of who wants to cut your taxes, who wants to raise your taxes. And again, the stereotype is Democrats want to raise your taxes, Republicans want to cut your taxes. Well, no, according to their proposed tax plans, the one Obama proposed in 2008 when he was running, the one McCain proposed in 2008 when he was running, guess what? Obama cut taxes for 90% of the American people. He cut taxes for the bottom 90%. There were like marginal, tiny increases on the next 5%, and in the top 5%, there was an increase in taxes. John McCain, you would pay a bigger tax bill if you are in the bottom 90% under John McCain. So the one argument the Republicans used, oh, I like to cut taxes for the middle class and the working class. That's not even true. That's not even true. So the one argument they use to try to pretend like they're populist, they're not. It's all a ruse. They're lying to you. When they say I want to cut taxes, what they mean is the fucking CEO of Merck, who I eat lunch with at the golf club. That's who I want to cut taxes for. I'm surrounded by elites. I'm cutting all of their taxes, so I'm going to go out there and say to the American people, yes, I'm for cutting taxes. But no, you're for cutting taxes of people who are massively wealthy, and you're for screwing the working class. So, and that's why he deleted this, because, yeah, people were like, are you fucking, even conservatives were like, dude, what are you doing? So, cringy and stupid, and it shows you exactly how he thinks. And just final point, remember that Paul Ryan got $500,000 from the Koch brothers 13 days after he passed this shitty bill that cut their taxes by over $1 billion a year. And you wonder who he's really serving. Well, maybe he's serving the people that gave him $500,000.